See, it is our duty to keep you looking on the bright side of life. So we asked shock jock James Whale to give us his take on the financial week. Come on, everybody. It could be worse, couldn't it? No? Well, here's James anyway.
Where's everybody gone? It's deserted, as if somebody's actually pushed the button. You know, recently I've had the feeling I'm in a bad B-movie horror. I wake up in the morning, I turn on the radio, doom and gloom. Then I turn on the television and they're talking about Armageddon. They've even got that little graphic up in the middle of the screen counting down how much money we're supposed to be losing. Oh, dear, dear, dear. And then I open up the papers. It's getting worse. The markets are in financial meltdown. What are we going to do? Well, I, for one, have had enough of this. Ah, that's better. Sure, we're going through a financial crisis. But look, nobody's dying. We're not facing nuclear annihilation. There is no great superbug about to threaten our existence. Mind you, wouldn't have thought that recently, according to the media. Me and my colleagues have become the prophets of doom. Look, we have got to get some positivity back into the psyches of the population. We are the ones who've got to lift everybody's spirits. Just over 8 years ago, I was diagnosed with kidney cancer. And after I came through the operation, my wife and I actually realized what life is all about. All this talk of money is facile. You actually begin to understand where your priorities are at a time like that. Look, it's really not that bad. I bet the pound shops are doing well, not to mention the takeaways and the little restaurants. Okay, we might have given up the foreign holidays for a while and the new car, but come on, it's not that bad. You've got to get yourselves out of this mire of depression into which we have all sunk. Look, we are all going to end up here one day. So until then, let us try and be positive. Put a smile on your face. For goodness sake, life is too short.
James Whale in a graveyard, and here is in our little graveyard of many reputations.
And nice to be here, Andrew.
Good to have you, James. Thanks for coming back. Let me start with Michael. Should we cheer up, as James wants us to, or are we right to be scared?
I think we can be cheered to this extent that I think a lot that has gone wrong in the economy in the last 5 years is going to put itself right, and I'm afraid that includes falling house prices, which were far too high. However, I think we're right to be scared. I find that if you feel you can't trust your bank, that you can't trust that your money is going to be safe in a bank, it completely alters your view of life. I found these last 2 weeks really terrifying, actually.
Yeah, but the more we feel like that, Michael, the more it's gonna get worse. And it seems to me, I mean, I hadn't realised how simple bankers were. That
how simple they were.
They are simple. Let's face it. That's why the stock exchange goes up on a Friday, so they can go home for the weekend on a high. So if we try and instill a bit of confidence, okay, we could be frightened or worried. There's no point in being worried. There really isn't. I mean, if we were being threatened by attack from some other nation or something, maybe. But this will work its way through the system.
There's no point.
I'm just going to say, Dan, the news doesn't get any better, though. Even tonight,
yes,
we learned that the Dow in Wall Street continues to plummet, and the president's going to make a special statement tomorrow morning.
There's no point in being frightened, because this is partly a crisis of confidence.
Yeah.
But there are real things very wrong with the economy.
I agree.
And if it goes as badly wrong as people think, this will be worse than 1929 because financial services is such a larger part of our economy than it was in the 30s.
Now,
but there's no point, you're right, and let's not be frightened. Let's buy tins of sardine and corned beef and, you know, whistle a merry tune.
Let's try, for goodness sake, to instill a little confidence back into the system, all right?
How would we do that, James?
I've no idea because I'm not a big banker. But those big bankers need to be encouraged. Now, the thing that most people are worried about is losing their homes, obviously. All worried about losing their homes and the value of their investment going down. There must be a way that we can make people more relaxed. Obviously, if you took on
I don't know about the value of your investment. I feel very strongly we need to do more to help people stay in their homes. So after all, if you repossess these houses, you can't sell them.
But you know, I think it could be quite irresponsible to go around trying to cheer people up because you know, I've been speaking at dinners quite a lot recently, and you go to
you're responsible for this, aren't you?
You go to one organisation or another, you know, to tell these people that it's all going to be all right when they can see their sales figures dropping through the floor. I think it's actually quite irresponsible.
I'm not saying everything. I'm not being that facile. It's not going to be all right, obviously, because these people have been encouraging us, and we're partly responsible, to borrow money and borrow and borrow and borrow. And we thought, yes, I've been responsible. I've borrowed loads of money. Loads of people have borrowed money and thought, well, we'll go out and have a good time. We've got now to help sort the thing out. But we have to realise that if we keep on getting more and more depressed, and Andrew, if you and I and everyone else keeps going on about this, there's never going to be any end to it.
We have to be cheerful, but we are going into a technical recession.
And James, can I just